Hey guys, my name is John Kim. I'm a licensed therapist and life coach, putting self-betterment into a shot glass. Because let's face it, who's got that much time these days? I come unpolished, unrehearsed, on purpose. If you're looking for more of a wine glass, you've come to the wrong place. Obviously, literally, don't show people pictures of your penis. But I think the more interesting conversation to have is figuratively showing people parts of yourself that they don't necessarily want to see, you know? But kind of going back to the literal sense, I can't imagine any circumstances where anyone would want to see your penis. I mean, other than like some kind of trick, or like just to see if they can get you to do that. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe if you're gay and you that's like a hot thing for you, I could kind of see that maybe. But like, I don't know any female who's heterosexual that just gets turned on by a picture of a penis. I think generally speaking, they're more interested in what the penis is attached to, who the penis is attached to, and the person as a whole. I think it's very different, men and women, and of course, men are more visual creatures. But it's just, something I just don't understand why men do that. But anyway, figuratively, we all do it. You don't have to have a penis to show someone a part of you that they don't necessarily want to see, and that's kind of what I'm interested in talking about. And so how do you know that? Because I do that often, and I do it because I think I've just been programmed to being a blogger and doing videos and front loading my story and really kind of pulling the curtain back and showing myself. Since I started doing that almost a decade ago, that's just how I am now, and so what's interesting is, how you think and how you behave. It doesn't matter what, if it's online or offline, it kind of ripples through everything. So sometimes when I'm with friends, or if I have a new friend, I'm sure they don't want to know my story. They don't want to know parts of myself that I disclose. What is that saying? Less history, more mystery. That's definitely something that I should work on. But here's the question, and if you do this, how do you know? How do you know how much to show yourself, how much to reveal about your story, what you've been through? Also, like in dates, you don't want on the first date to tell them everything about you, or the person's like, okay, there's actually nothing else to know. So I think, and this has been helpful for me, is if you are, because I do believe that your story is powerful, and I do believe that you should definitely share it. I think it's about how you do it, also your intention behind it. If you are sharing something or a part of yourself or your story because you want to force that on someone because of ego, or because you're bragging, or because, for example, if you just, I don't know, landed the corner office or a raise or something big, there's a difference between sharing that because people genuinely care about you and it's good news and you're proud of your success, or pushing that out to everyone as a mean to get attention or brag, right? So I think when you are making it about you, right, and we all know when we do this, and also we all do this without realizing we're doing it. When we are making it about us, then it probably doesn't need to be shared, unless someone is asking for information. If you are making it about someone else, so if you are sharing a part of your story to help someone, or maybe they can relate to it. I talk about my divorce a lot. I don't talk about it because I want people to feel sorry for me. Excuse me, I'm actually eating Brazilian nuts. I know there's some irony there, but quick story. My parents, every time I meet my parents and go out to lunch, they always bring me something extremely practical. It's usually toilet paper or detergent, and that's just the way, it's old school Korean, right? Like, and it kind of makes sense. Shit, I would take a giant thing of toilet paper over, I don't know, a card, right? And so last time we met, they brought this giant pillowcase bag of Brazilian nuts because my mom heard something on the Korean radio saying how amazing they are and they're superfoods. And usually I take all that with a grain of salt. I'm like, I don't want it. And I reject 90% of the things that she gives me that she thinks is healthy or, or, it's going to improve my skin or whatever. But I Googled Brazilian nuts and holy shit, they're a superfood. And there's so many amazing things about them. So they're right next to me. And I am eating nuts as I'm talking about. Don't show your penis. Okay, so here's how you know when you make it about other people, right? When you make whatever information you are disclosing, if it's going to help someone, um, if it's going to make them relate, if there's a lesson there that they're asking for. So a lot of the times when I talk about my divorce, it's not like poor me, look what I've been through. It's to help people see that the therapists aren't perfect, and we also have expired relationship, and we go through breakups and divorce, etc. And also to let people who are going through a divorce to help them feel less alone. That there are so many other people, especially today, going through something like a divorce, right? Or if you have overcome addiction, or if you've lost a lot of weight or got fit, or whatever accomplishment ties in with your story. I think all that is valuable. I think it should be shared. I think that there's a tipping point when your story is bigger than you, and that tipping point has to do with you actually sharing it. So I really believe in that. But I think there's a difference between sharing parts of yourself because someone's going to benefit from it and there's lessons, and they're asking for it, or sharing parts of yourselves for you, meaning feeding your ego, and also the inappropriateness, right? Now going back to this idea of people sending dick pics and things that are kind of shocking and crossing boundaries, being inappropriate. There definitely, for me, there's a silliness. I'm inappropriate all the time, but I'm not offensive. I definitely try not to be. I don't know, maybe I'm offensive to some people. So that kind of weird balance, I think, is really important when we are maneuvering in the world, right? To be aware of showing parts of yourself, telling parts of your story, and why, and not just verbally vomiting. So that's the thing. That's the equivalent of showing people your dick pic is verbally vomiting. Or hijacking conversations. When you're having coffee with a friend and they're trying to talk or express something or tell you something about what they're going through, and you find a way to make it back about you and what you're going through. There's this kind of weird hijacking that happens all the time. Or if you're in a group or you're out in dinner and because you need attention or validation or approval, that you completely hijack the conversation by disclosing things about yourself that no one wants to know. Anyway, so I think that happens often. I think that happens without us being aware. And maybe this can be a reminder for you today as you go throughout your day and you start engaging with other humans, to be aware of that, because other people, they notice it, and you're going to have a lot less friends. So I think there's something attractive of being responsible of what you want to share. And especially, if you're a life coach, especially, or a therapist, or you're a teacher, any kind of profession where you're coaching or engaging with people, you got to be really careful with, are you sharing this because you think it's helpful? Are you sharing this because they asked? Are you sharing this because they can relate to this, or they can learn something from what you've overcome, what you've been through, from the mountain that you've climbed? If so, that is valuable. If so, that's a gift. I think that's great. Or are you doing it because you want to brag? Are you doing it because you want to stand behind the podium or on a soapbox? Are you doing it to tap dance? And if that's the case, then I think your power, I think you have less power. I think when you're sharing to help others, you're power filled. And I think if you are sharing to seek approval, validation, then you are powerless. It's a false sense of power, right? I think a lot of times when we're out bragging that we accomplished something or we did something, it makes us feel powerful because we think that everyone is listening to us and cares and thinks we're the shit. But in truth, the opposite is happening. You're powerless. They smell, you reek of insecurity. And to be power filled, you really have to not verbally vomit, to not make it about you, and allow your story and what you disclose to help other people, and know when it is helpful and know when it is just littering, emotional littering. All right, guys, be well. And if you enjoy this conversation, share it, give me a review, give me some comments, subscribe so you get it before I post about it. And thank you for listening. Thanks for tuning in. I hope the dialogue was helpful. Listen, guys, if you want to be a life coach, just go to my website, theangrytherapist.com, and click on Life Coaching Training, and you'll find our Catalyst Intensive. There's only 2 things you need to be a life coach: a story, which everyone has, and a passion to help others.